There are people who are like that. And probably they don't believe in soulmates or they don't believe in a God who makes people's paths meet.
But if they do believe,
They could believe, but when it's not, I don't know. It is God at the end of the day who has the answers to all these questions that we have. But most of the time, to every one of us, there's someone. Because God is love and He cares about how man feels.
Lillian says the idea of a soulmate, that one perfect person destined to complete you, is beautiful, but also a bit idolized.
True. It is very, very true, and I cannot. It's idolized in a way that sometimes we over expect, yeah? Over expect from these partners. You want them to come looking this way, driving this car, living this place, having qualified in such and such. It's sometimes it's more an idea of what we want, but not. That is why there are all these myths of is it real or is it something that we've made up or we've come to believe is any other?
May I have a question? Would you say if someone married and they married and they have a soulmate, they married a soulmate, but unfortunately the soulmate passes on or dies, do you think another soulmate will come on or that the end?
I think again, I say God can create for people. If you believe you want to try again, many people would be like, that's it for me. I tested love and that was it, and I'm not trying again. Yeah? Like I know of a couple who died the same day. The woman died in the morning and they came and told the husband. He was at home and they told him, your wife who went in hospital because of a headache has died. And the man just dropped dead. So they prepared a vigil for both of them and they were all buried the next day. But these were an older couple in their 80s, I think. Yeah. But they had connected to that degree. So you can really meet this person and connect on those levels. But then there are those who are like, I tested a good thing. I really don't want to try again. That's it for me. But there are those who have faith that even if I bonded with this one and they were my right thing, yeah, I want to try again and they try again. And guess what? Because they've gone before God and asked for another round, God gives them another round.
So as a teenager, say as a Gen Z or as a teenager, we have a thing going around that love will catch you when it's unexpected, when you don't want it. And when you said some people may give up on love and say I've tested it, but God sends someone else. Do you think that can happen? Being given an ex soulmate when you don't want a soulmate.
God does not mix things, guys. Let us not think He's one person that forces His will on people. God gives us what we ask for. That is why He says, ask and you will receive. If you don't want a soulmate, He won't give you. But if you believe Him to give you one, He will in the right time. That is what I can say.
But God does give us what we need.
Yes.
Not technically what we want all the time.
The Bible says He supplies all our needs. So if you have asked and it's something that you want or you would want to have in your life, at the right time when you need it, He will avail it to you.
But you say God is a father, right?
Yes.
Now, let's put it this way. I'm at home, I have no books for school, or a pen, or a bag for school. You would see that I need it, even though I've not asked for it, right? You would still supply it to me, even though I've not asked for it. Would you say I'm still stuck on that thing, even though you don't want or you're not expecting one? God will just give you a soulmate?
There are those who say that love came knocking unexpectedly, yeah, and we welcomed it. There are those who say that. Now, It came when you are not looking. And actually, some people do actually believe it. There is a lady who couldn't have children, and they told her, you go on and adopt. The moment you adopt, there's a way things work out. And then your womb will open and you start having children. And so she went on and adopted a kid. But then she never got pregnant. But she did what she was told would open doors for her to have children. Now, for relationships, when you don't expect, because we live before God, God always, like you have said, I can know because you're my child, you need shoes, or I can understand you have that. These things are getting old, you need new ones, and I just give them to you without you asking. So, same applies to God. He can bring for you love, something that you didn't know you need, but you did need, and so He gives it to you. It can happen.
We have a comment here by Jamie.
Mm.
What if you don't want another, but God sees a bigger plan for you and sees that you need one?
You don't need another one.
Another soul.
When your partner has died,
Yeah, or like has cheated, your soulmate has cheated, let's say, or has died or has left.
God is a God of love, and all that is possible. He can really do things that we don't expect. He can give you a fresh beginning. There are those who were on the rock bottom, and then God gives you a fresh start. God does those things. He does work in mysterious ways. And I wanted us to hear from a real person who has experienced both sides. Yeah. Those who believe in soulmates and those who say timing was everything. Now, there's this one person that I asked and said, I met my wife when I was 18. I didn't believe in soulmates then, but 10 years later, we reconnected, and now I know we are meant to be. That is what I said. 18 years, that is when they met, but he did not believe in soulmates. Now, there is a person that I know who always uses the word glow up. Is it glow up or grow up? A glow up. You know, like you awaken love before it's time. At 18, you met this person, but at 18, you were young. You had to study because that was the mission ahead of you. You had to grow up and get in your 20s and probably get to work and earn some money and make a life for yourself before you actually get yourself. And no wonder now you meet when you're all of the same money. You want to get married, you all want to have children, you want to settle down. It is about the timing. Yeah. But again, because you met them before and allowed time, because time changes things. Time did its thing, and now they are now married and they feel like they were meant to be. And another one that I met also said, I don't think there is one person for you. I loved someone deeply, but we were in different places in life. My current partner, we grew together. That's what made it work. Okay, now you tell me, is that soulmate or is it a partner? She has actually just said, my current partner, we grew up together. Yeah. He said, I don't think there is one person for you. I loved someone deeply, but we were in different places in life. My current partner, we grew together. That's what made it work. Now, it all goes down to doing the right thing in the right time. You're not meeting someone, you are at school, life is happening. You understand? So that definitely is not the right person. But when you're working now and you're with this person, or it is the right time, it's the right thing because now you're all in the right space. Yeah. It's like you meet someone and they go and study after you've been married, and they go off and study and they study for 8 years and leave you here. Really, you can grow apart. Yeah. But you can grow apart, and yet you can grow apart, and yet if you had waited until the 8 years of study and then meet, you can grow together and start making things work. Yeah. And then there is another story. A story believes in destiny, another in readiness. These are two people. One believes that there was destiny, another one believes in readiness, but found love Excuse me. But the lens they used to define it definitely are different. Now, the psychology of connection is one of them, where there's chemistry, compatibility, and trauma bonds. When I say the word trauma bonds, there are those who meet, like the September 9/11 something that happened in the US, the September, the 9, the 9/11, yeah, 9/11, when the towers were bombed.
Oh yeah.
Now there are people who were rescuing each other and met that way. It is so easy to think that this is my soulmate because they rescued me out of such a place. But is that the case? So that is the one they are talking about, the psychology of connection, the chemistry, compatibility, trauma bonds, what they call the trauma bonds. Now, not every deep connection is healthy. Sometimes what feels like a soulmate is actually a trauma bond. Yeah, there's a trauma bond where you are in the same situation. Trauma bond feels intense, familiar, like you have known this person forever. That's not always love. It can be unresolved wounds playing out. Did you know that?
So like daddy issues.
Aha, you had your issues, now they are playing out. This person you've always wanted. Like someone you told me about that said, when I get in a relationship again, I want someone who will treat me like a princess.
Yeah.
Probably they have their own issues. Before they were treated like rubbish. This time round, she's not ready to settle. She wants someone who will treat her like a queen that she is, or like a princess. All these are things that continue to unveil. And so you can think that is a trauma bond. You're getting involved with a person because, oh my goodness, he brought me lunch. And I was there and he brought me breakfast. He came yesterday and picked me and took me out in the evening. You think that is a soulmate, but really he's healing the wounds of the past relationship where the person neglected you, and this one knows how to play cards to get to you. He calls me 15 times a day. Oh my goodness, he's always texting. Yesterday he dropped by unexpectedly. You think they are soulmates, but really they are healing your wounds because the first person you had wasn't that thoughtful. There are people who think that married women are easy. Why? Because studies show that married women tend to be neglected. Their husbands never compliment them, they never say they look good, or they never shower them with presents or take them out. So this guy comes playing the right cards, sends you a bouquet of flowers at work, and you're like, is it for my husband? And this one is better even than my husband because my husband cannot even do that, and calls you and takes you out for lunch, and the husband is like, we'll meet at home. Yeah. So you can start thinking this is my soulmate, but really it's not. You had your own things going on, and this person is playing the right cards. Example, our relationships don't have that crazy feeling, but it is the safest. Most loving connections I have ever had, and to me, that's my soulmate. Oh, sorry, this is an example that someone gave, that our relationship doesn't have that crazy feeling, but it is the safest. So this person is saying that their relationship doesn't have that crazy feeling of, oh my goodness, he has come, oh my goodness, he's the one, but it's the safest. He's saying most loving connection I have ever had. So this person is saying that it's the most loving connection he's ever had, but it doesn't have those crazy feelings of
Drama.
or love booming. Eh? It doesn't have any of those. And to me, that's my soulmate. So that's one person who I talk to, and that's what they say. Okay, there's another comment.
We have comments here.
Mm.
Lillian says, sorry. What Jamie says, what if you don't want another? Sorry. Lillian says the deep emotional and spiritual connection that people often associate with soulmates doesn't always happen instantly.
True,
It takes a while.
it does.
And then Emmanuel Cooper says, God, God says, God gave us free will to choose for ourselves. Will God work in our decisions too?
God does not force his will on us. He puts choices before us and we choose. Which one are we going with? Which one will work for us? God does not force his will on man. He gave us that free will where we choose what works for us. That is why you see people get married for different reasons. I can get married to you because you have a big account. I can get married to him because he's learned, he's a professor, he's the general. I can get married to her because she's got work, like we put it in Uganda. Or I can get married to her because she's got the nice skin. I can get married to the other because she's got the right height. But that does not mean that is your soulmate. And God leaves us to make that choice. What is drawing you to this person? There is this thing that I always tell people that if you fell for someone because they had brains, even when things change, try and focus on the brains because they are the sole reason why you went into with this person. But if you went to this person because they were pretty, then when pretty can't cook, when pretty has no brains, when pretty can't have children, when pretty can't work, please look at pretty and stay with pretty. Why? Because that is the first thing that you looked at, and that is what made you commit. We cannot force God. God cannot force us, and He puts all these things before us. Are we going to go vain on choices, or are we going to choose with sound minds? But most of the time we go because, oh my goodness, he's got that voice. Oh my goodness, he's got that six pack. And that is the reason why we are getting involved with people. When the six pack fades and then the big thing comes out, you're like, oh no, I don't even know where I was looking when I went out with him. You know, just like men, you get married and the girl was all together, has one child, and you find her going all over the place. And then you start looking the other way, thinking, I made a mistake. I don't even know where I was looking, going with you, going out with you. But really, you did. You understand? So God doesn't force his way with us. We can present our will and we can present our choices before him and ask him to guide us. And when we ask him, he does come in and guides us.
Jamie says, Emmanuel, God works in our decision if we allow him to and surrender.
Oh my goodness, Jamie is really a genius on this one. Yeah. She should come and join us next time. Yeah, any other comment?
Oh, no, not really.
Hmm?
No.
Okay, guys, it's a live chat. Go ahead and drop in the comments what you think on soulmates. Do they exist or is it just timing? It's a live chat. You drop your comment, we'll be able to read it. Otherwise, was continuing. So maybe the question isn't just do soulmates exist, but are we mistaking intensity for connection? And if so, what does that say about how we define love? Yeah. Are we mistaking intensity for connection for in the intensity? Are we mistaking intensity for connection? And if so, what does that say about love? About how we define love? Because there is love that grows over time. I meet you, I really don't like you. You have nothing that can draw me to you. But then after hanging out with you, then I find out she's really kind. Oh my goodness. She's God fearing. I think she
Falling in
could
love.
make no. It starts off like that. I think she could make you connect on more than one level. And before you know it, you started liking this person and spending time with them. But there are those who are catchy. All they are is pretty. They are beautiful, but manners no, behaviors no, not any good. Everything is just bad. But they had the face or the work. And then you get to do with the work and you're like, please, you've got to leave. Yeah. The illusion of